Hello everyone, Chris Lashava with Remax Heritage Professionals, and here we are at the end of July 2023. That means our market update is available for end of month of June. And so let's get into the numbers for what's happening in Polk County, Florida. So for June 2023, we had 1,354 closed sales. That's compared to 1,555 closed sales. That's a decrease of 12.9% closed sales. Cash sales as a percentage of closed sales, 23.3% of all sales were cash sales in June 2023. That's compared to 32.6% in June 2022, a decrease of 28.5%. Median sales price $325,000. That's compared to $333,900, and so home prices actually went down 2.7% from last year to this year. The average sales price $344,711 compared to $349,834. That's a decrease of 1.5%. Median percent of original list price, sellers were receiving 98.4% of list price compared to 100% a year ago. That's a decrease of 1.6%. How long is it taking homes to sell or go under contract? It's taking 24 days. That's compared to 7 days a year ago. So it is taking quite a bit longer, 242.9% longer. Median time to sale, so that's to closing, 68 days compared to 48 days a year ago. That's an increase of 41.7%. New pending sales, 1,365 compared to 1,455 a year ago, a decrease of 6.2%. New listings, 1,560 new listings compared to 2,186 a year ago, a decrease of 28.6%. Pending inventory, 2,101 homes pending compared to 2,251 a year ago, a decrease of 6.7%. Active inventory, 3,112 compared to 2,457, an increase of 27.6%. And then our month supply of inventory is at 2.5 months of inventory compared to 1.7 months a year ago, an increase of 47.1%. Tune in as we talk a little bit more about what all of these statistics mean and what we think is happening moving forward. So the stats we just went over for Polk County and Winter Haven both demonstrate definitely a slowing of the housing market in terms of number of sales. I think, though, that for a lot of people, the reason that's happening is not the reason they think. I think a lot of people think that the reason sales are slowing so much is due to the higher mortgage rates. We've been hovering around 6.5% to 7% for the last couple weeks, really for the most of the month of June, and that's certainly a lot higher than the 3% we were dealing with, a year and a half, 2 years ago during the pandemic. But historically speaking, 6.5%, 7% interest rate is actually not that bad. And I think once buyers got over the shock of, man, I could have had 3% and now it's doubled or more than doubled, they have slowly gotten back into the housing market. And so demand is still pretty high. There are still buyers out there buying homes, but there aren't homes to buy. And so the reason sales are slowing so much in general is because there just aren't enough homes for buyers to purchase. And so what does that mean? It means for buyers, as rates go down, it's going to actually bring more buyers into the market for what is becoming an extraordinarily low number of homes available for purchase, especially resale homes. Why do we have such an inventory shortage? Well, the first reason is that since 2008, when the market crashed, builders have never gotten back ramped up to the building levels they were at back then. And so, in fact, many of them went out of business. Those that stayed in business have been cautious in terms of their building, their rate of builds. The pandemic then caused a number of supply chain shortages, and while we're kind of through with the supply chain shortages, we are still dealing with some labor shortages. That being said, fortunately, builders are starting to ramp back up. There's construction on every street corner, it seems, in Winter Haven and Polk County right now. That is actually where most of the inventory is right now, is at new home construction. But of course, that's got a timeline. I was just recently with D.R. Horton, which is the nation's largest home builder, and they're finally getting back to a 90-day build, so 3 months build time for their inventory homes, which is great news for home buyers. As far as resales go, one of the reasons why there isn't the kind of inventory there normally would be is that the people that purchased 3-4 years ago got 3% interest rate or 3.5% interest rate aren't selling because they don't want to trade a 3.5% interest rate for a 6.5% or 7% interest rate. So even if the home's not working for them any longer, I think a lot of them sort of feel stuck because they just don't want to trade in for a much higher mortgage rate, and honestly would eat up a lot of the equity they earn, so they're kind of starting over. And so I think it's going to be a few years before those people that bought homes during the pandemic or just before the pandemic look to sell their homes, because they'll have more equity then, and then can upsize or downsize, whatever they need to do to find the right sized home for them. And so that's part of what's driving things. Home prices, this is actually the largest drop that I've seen so far this year, in Winter Haven in particular, but countywide it was actually a very small price drop, and I don't see it going much bigger than that. Most of the experts that I follow have talked about prices probably stabilizing once we get into fall and winter. Now, some places in the country, they're going to drop a lot more. But in Florida, we really have a year-round housing market. And so I don't see it dropping very much because, again, there's not inventory to purchase. And so when someone puts a home on the market that is priced, within the market range and is in good condition, it's going to be gone pretty quickly. And again, if mortgage rates do slowly start to drop, that's going to bring even more competition to the market and actually probably drive prices back up. So if you're looking to buy, I actually think now is probably a pretty good time. When mortgage rates do drop, you could always refinance, but at least you're not going to face the same level of competition as if you wait until rates get down to 5 or 4.5%, and then everybody's going to be in the market again, and I just don't see a place where the inventory is going to catch up that quickly. If you're looking to sell, actually now is a great time, especially if you already have a place to go. But if you're looking to sell, again, there's just not that much competition out there. Lots of buyers, but not a lot of resale inventory, especially if your home is well maintained and you price it right. I would expect a pretty quick sale in that situation. So that's a little bit about what's happening. I think that for my buyers, if they have the budget for it, I really am suggesting we look at new home construction because builders are offering some great incentives out there. They're buying the interest rate down to sometimes 4.99%, 5.5%, and often are paying a portion or all of the closing costs. And so those are some great incentives to look at new construction. Plus, you're going to have lower homeowners insurance. You're going to have lower home repair kinds of issues because those homes will have warranties for the first year to 10 years, depending on whether you're talking about appliances or structural. And so it's going to save you money in a lot of different ways. If you're looking under 250, that's a bit of a challenge because there just is not a lot of inventory, and a lot of that inventory, anything under 250 right now, seems to need work. Certainly under 200 needs work. Often won't qualify for an FHA or VA loan. So those are challenges. You just have to be patient. I do have a client that's currently under contract with an FHA loan for a home under 250. Actually, that one was under 200. That's kind of a diamond in the rough we were able to find, but it took us a while. We've been looking since January. It took about 5.5, 6 months. So you have to have patience if you're in that price range. Anyway, I hope you found this information helpful. If you are looking to buy or sell, I'd love to be one of the people you talk to and interview for the job. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you here. And again, if I can help you or your family or friends or neighbors buy or sell a home in Central Florida, I'd love to make your home buying and selling experience an epic one. Have a great day, everybody.